Imagine Dr. Ramirez, a hero in Scrubs. He's not just any doctor. He's a Chilean immigrant saving lives in a busy California emergency room. He's respected by his colleagues and loved by his patients. But one day, everything changes. Picture this. The ER is buzzing, sirens wailing as ambulances arrive. A bad car accident has just occurred. The hospital staff is rushing. They're trying to help everyone. Dr. Ramirez is in the middle of treating a patient when suddenly, ICE agents enter the emergency room. They approach Dr. Ramirez, interrupt his life-saving work, and arrest him. The reason? ICE claims he stayed in the country longer than his visa allowed. This is a big surprise to everyone at the hospital. This sets off a chain of events that throws the hospital, the community, and even the national news into chaos. The story of Dr. Ramirez is just beginning. The arrest itself was a scene of confusion and fear. Imagine the sterile, bright lights of the ER reflecting off the ICE agents' badges. The air is thick with tension. Dr. Ramirez, still in his blood-stained scrubs, is led away in handcuffs. Nurses and other doctors watch in disbelief. Their faces a mix of shock and anger. Patients waiting for care are scared. Some are in pain, others are worried about loved ones. The ER, usually a place of healing, suddenly feels like a place of danger. The efficiency of the ER grinds to a halt. The arrest created chaos as people whisper, and some start to record with their phones. The other doctors and nurses try to keep things running, but everyone is distracted. How could this happen? How could they take away a doctor in the middle of an emergency? The arrest of Dr. Ramirez sends shockwaves through the hospital. But why did ICE arrest Dr. Ramirez? Their official statement painted a simple picture. Dr. Ramirez had overstayed his visa. They claimed he was in violation of immigration laws and therefore subject to arrest and deportation. This is what they told the public. ICE officials stated that they were simply enforcing the law. They insisted that everyone, regardless of their profession, must abide by the rules. They emphasized that they had followed standard procedures in arresting Dr. Ramirez. Their statement was clear and concise, but it did little to quell the growing outrage. Many people questioned the timing and location of the arrest. Why arrest him in the middle of his shift at the hospital? Was there no other way to handle the situation? The public wanted to know. ICE's justification, while legally sound, seemed heartless and insensitive to many. But the hospital administration had a different story. They swiftly released a statement contradicting ICE's claims. According to the hospital, Dr. Ramirez was not in violation of any immigration laws. The hospital explained that they had all the necessary paperwork and approval for Dr. Ramirez to work legally. They expressed outrage at ICE's actions, accusing them of ignoring the facts and disrupting essential medical services. The hospital's statement added fuel to the fire. Now, it wasn't just a matter of immigration law. It was a question of the government's competence and respect for the medical community. Who was telling the truth? ICE or the hospital? The conflicting accounts created even more confusion and anger. The hospital vowed to fight for Dr. Ramirez's release. With Dr. Ramirez gone, the patients in the ER faced immediate consequences. People with broken bones, high fevers, and other emergencies had to wait longer for treatment. Some patients were diverted to other hospitals, adding to the strain on the surrounding medical facilities. One woman, who had been in a car accident, waited for hours before seeing a doctor. A child with a severe allergic reaction had to be rushed to another hospital miles away. These are just a few examples of the real-life impact of Dr. Ramirez's arrest. The hospital staff did their best to cope with the situation, but they were short-staffed and overwhelmed. Nurses worked double shifts, and doctors took on extra patients. The quality of care suffered, and the stress levels in the ER skyrocketed. The absence of Dr. Ramirez was felt by everyone who needed medical attention that day. It exposed a critical weakness in the system. Who was Dr. Ramirez before the arrest? He wasn't just a name on a badge. He had years of experience and training. He went to medical school in Chile and then came to the United States for further specialization in emergency medicine. He's a dedicated doctor. He was known for his calm demeanor, his quick thinking, and his ability to connect with patients, even in the most stressful situations. He spoke fluent Spanish, which was invaluable in serving the diverse community. Dr. Ramirez had saved countless lives. He was a mentor to younger doctors and a trusted colleague to his peers. He was actively involved in community health programs, volunteering his time to provide medical care to underserved populations. The hospital staff shared stories of his compassion and skill, painting a picture of a doctor who was deeply committed to his patients and his community. He was more than just a doctor. He was a vital part of the hospital family. The news of Dr. Ramirez's arrest spread quickly through the community. People who had been treated by him, along with their families, were shocked and angry. They organized protests outside the hospital and the ICE office, carrying signs that read, "Free Dr. Ramirez," and "Healthcare is a human right." Local community leaders spoke out against the arrest, calling it unjust and inhumane. They emphasized the importance of immigrant doctors in providing health care to underserved communities. They highlighted Dr. Ramirez's contributions and argued that his arrest was a blow to the entire community. The hospital received an outpouring of support from patients, former patients, and local residents. People sent letters, emails, and social media messages expressing their solidarity with Dr. Ramirez and condemning ICE's actions. The community rallied around Dr. Ramirez, determined to fight for his release and to show their appreciation for his service. As the community rallied, lawyers stepped in to fight for Dr. Ramirez's freedom. A team of immigration attorneys and civil rights advocates began working pro bono, meaning they wouldn't charge him. They immediately filed motions to challenge the legality of his detention. The lawyers argued that ICE had violated Dr. Ramirez's rights by arresting him without proper cause, especially considering the hospital's documentation of his valid medical sponsorship. They presented evidence to demonstrate that he posed no threat to the community and was, in fact, a valuable asset. They also sought an emergency injunction to prevent his deportation, arguing that his removal would cause irreparable harm to his patients and the hospital. The legal battle was complex and challenging, but the lawyers were determined to secure Dr. Ramirez's release and ensure that justice was served. They worked tirelessly, fueled by the community's support and the hospital's determination. The story of Dr. Ramirez quickly spread beyond the local community. News outlets picked up the story, and it became a national headline. Major newspapers, television networks, and online news sites reported on the arrest, highlighting the conflicting account from ICE and the hospital. The media coverage focused on the human impact of the arrest, featuring interviews with patients who had been affected by Dr. Ramirez's absence. They also shared stories of his dedication and compassion, painting a picture of a doctor who was deeply valued by his community. The media also questioned ICE's actions, raising concerns about the agency's priorities and its impact on healthcare access. The story sparked a national debate about immigration policies and the role of immigrants in the medical field. The widespread media attention put pressure on ICE to respond to the growing criticism and to justify its actions. It amplified the community's voice and brought the issue to the forefront of the national conversation. Behind the scenes, the hospital administration was working tirelessly to resolve the situation. They met with ICE officials, providing them with all the documentation proving Dr. Ramirez's legal status. They emphasized the critical role he played in the ER and the negative impact his absence was having on patient care. The hospital CEO publicly defended Dr. Ramirez, issuing strong statements condemning ICE's actions and vowing to do everything possible to secure his release. They also launched an internal investigation to determine if there had been any miscommunication or errors in the paperwork that might have contributed to the misunderstanding. The hospital reached out to local and national political leaders, seeking their support in advocating for Dr. Ramirez. They also worked closely with the legal team, providing them with resources and assistance. The hospital's unwavering support for Dr. Ramirez demonstrated their commitment to their employees and their dedication to providing quality health care to the community. They made it clear that they would not stand by idly while a valued member of their team was unjustly detained. Dr. Ramirez's arrest quickly became a flashpoint in the ongoing debate about immigration policy. Politicians weighed in, some defending ICE's actions as necessary for enforcing the law, while others condemned the arrest as inhumane and counterproductive. The case highlighted the complexities of the immigration system and the challenges faced by foreign-born medical professionals who are essential to the U.S. healthcare system. Some lawmakers called for reforms to the medical sponsorship program, arguing that it needed to be streamlined and made more accessible. The debate also touched on the broader issue of immigration reform, with some advocating for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who contribute to the economy and society. Dr. Ramirez's case became a symbol of the human cost of restrictive immigration policies and the need for a more compassionate and sensible approach. It served as a reminder that immigration is not just about numbers and statistics. It's about real people and their lives. Beyond the immediate outrage and political debate, Dr. Ramirez's case raised serious legal questions. If ICE was found to have acted improperly, the agency could face legal challenges. Dr. Ramirez could potentially sue ICE for wrongful arrest and violation of his rights. The hospital, too, could face legal ramifications if it was determined that there were errors in the documentation supporting Dr. Ramirez's medical sponsorship. The hospital's legal team would need to assess their liability and prepare for potential lawsuits. The legal outcome of the case would depend on a number of factors, including the evidence presented by both sides and the interpretation of immigration laws. The case could set a precedent for future cases involving foreign-born medical professionals and ICE enforcement actions. The legal ramifications extended beyond Dr. Ramirez himself, potentially affecting other hospitals and healthcare providers who rely on foreign-born doctors. Regardless of the legal outcome, Dr. Ramirez's future in the United States remained uncertain. If he was deported, it would be difficult, if not impossible, for him to return. He would have to rebuild his life in Chile, leaving behind his friends, colleagues, and the community he had served. Even if he was released, the arrest would likely have a lasting impact on his career. He might face difficulties in obtaining future medical licenses or employment opportunities. The experience could also take a toll on his mental and emotional well-being. Dr. Ramirez would have to decide whether to continue fighting for his right to remain in the United States or to accept deportation and start anew elsewhere. His decision would depend on his personal circumstances, his legal options, and his desire to return to the community he had come to call home. His future hung in the balance, a stark reminder of the human cost of immigration policies. Dr. Ramirez's case sent a chilling message to other foreign-born medical professionals working in the United States. Many began to fear that they, too, could be targeted by ICE, even if they were working legally and contributing to the healthcare system. Hospitals and clinics that relied on foreign-born doctors worried about losing valuable staff members. Some doctors considered leaving the country, fearing that they could be arrested or deported at any time. The case raised concerns about the ability of the U.S. healthcare system to attract and retain foreign-born medical professionals who play a crucial role in providing care to underserved communities. The chilling effect could exacerbate existing healthcare shortages, particularly in rural areas and inner cities. It highlighted the need for greater clarity and consistency in immigration policies to ensure that foreign-born doctors feel safe and welcome in the United States. The arrest threatened to undermine the diversity and expertise that foreign-born doctors bring to the U.S. healthcare system. Days turned into weeks as the legal battle continued. The lawyers presented compelling evidence, and the community's support remained strong. Political pressure mounted on ICE to reconsider its actions. Finally, a judge ruled that Dr. Ramirez's detention was unlawful and ordered his immediate release. The judge cited the hospital's documentation and the lack of any evidence that Dr. Ramirez posed a threat to public safety. The news of Dr. Ramirez's release spread like wildfire. The community erupted in celebration, and the hospital staff rejoiced. Dr. Ramirez was greeted as a hero upon his return to the hospital. The legal victory was a testament to the power of community organizing, the dedication of the legal team, and the hospital's unwavering support. However, the fight was not over. Dr. Ramirez still faced the challenge of clearing his name and securing his long-term future in the United States. The day of Dr. Ramirez's release was filled with emotion. He walked out of the detention center to a crowd of cheering supporters. Nurses, doctors, patients, and community members were all there to welcome him back. Dr. Ramirez was visibly moved by the outpouring of love and support. He thanked everyone for their unwavering dedication and vowed to continue serving the community. He emphasized that the experience had only strengthened his resolve to fight for justice and equality. The hospital held a special ceremony to celebrate his return, where he was honored for his courage and commitment. His colleagues expressed their relief and gratitude, emphasizing the importance of his presence in the ER. Dr. Ramirez's release was not just a legal victory. It was a victory for the community and a testament to the power of solidarity. It was a day of hope and renewal. Returning to the ER was like coming home for Dr. Ramirez. His colleagues welcomed him with open arms, and the patients expressed their gratitude for his dedication. He quickly resumed his duties, providing care to those in need. However, reintegration wasn't easy. He still had to deal with the emotional scars of his detention. He sought counseling to help him process the experience and cope with the stress. He also worked with his lawyers to clear his name and ensure that his immigration status was fully resolved. The hospital provided him with ongoing support, offering him resources and flexibility. They understood that he needed time to heal and adjust. Dr. Ramirez's reintegration was a gradual process, but with the support of his community and his own resilience, he was able to return to his role as a valued member of the hospital team. He was determined to move forward and continue serving the community he loved. Dr. Ramirez's case prompted discussions about policy changes at both the hospital and the national level. The hospital implemented new procedures to ensure that all foreign-born medical professionals had the necessary documentation and support. They also increased training for staff on immigration laws and patients' rights. At the national level, lawmakers introduced legislation to reform the medical sponsorship program and provide greater protections for foreign-born doctors. Some proposed stricter oversight of IC enforcement actions, particularly in sensitive locations like hospitals. The case also led to increased awareness of the importance of diversity and inclusion in the healthcare workforce. Many organizations renewed their commitment to supporting and welcoming foreign-born medical professionals. The policy changes aim to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future and to ensure that all doctors, regardless of their immigration status, could provide care without fear of arrest or deportation. It was a step toward creating a more just and equitable healthcare system. The story of Dr. Ramirez serves as a lasting reminder of the importance of protecting the rights of immigrants and ensuring access to healthcare for all. His case highlighted the vital role that foreign-born medical professionals play in the U.S. healthcare system and the need for immigration policies that are both just and sensible. It also demonstrated the power of community organizing and the importance of standing up for what is right. The outpouring of support for Dr. Ramirez showed that people are willing to fight for justice and equality, even in the face of adversity. The case also underscored the need for greater transparency and accountability in IC enforcement actions. It raised questions about the agency's priorities and its impact on vulnerable communities. The lasting impact of Dr. Ramirez's story is a call to action, urging policymakers and community members to work together to create a more inclusive and equitable society. It is a reminder that every individual deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their immigration status. If we could speak directly with Dr. Ramirez, what would he say? Perhaps he would express gratitude for the overwhelming support he received. He might share the challenges he faced during his detention and the emotional toll it took on him. He could also offer insights into the importance of immigration reform and the need to protect the rights of foreign-born medical professionals. He might speak passionately about his commitment to providing health care to underserved communities and his desire to continue serving his patients. His perspective would provide a human face to the complex issues surrounding immigration and health care. It would remind us that behind every policy and every statistic, there are real people with hopes, dreams, and a desire to contribute to society. His story would be a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of fighting for justice and equality. It would be a call to action, urging us to create a more compassionate and inclusive world. Please note that this section is hypothetical, as it is based on a fictionalized account of Dr. Ramirez's experience. The day they arrested me, Dr. Ramirez might begin, his voice filled with emotion. I felt like my world was collapsing. I had dedicated my life to helping people, and suddenly, I was being treated like a criminal. He could describe the fear and uncertainty he experienced in detention, the worry for his patients, and the pain of being separated from his colleagues and friends. It was a dark time, he might say, but the support I received from the community gave me strength. It reminded me why I became a doctor in the first place, to serve others. He could add, "This experience has shown me how important it is to fight for justice and to stand up for those who are vulnerable. I hope my story will inspire others to do the same." He might also emphasize, "We are all human beings, and we all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect."